There, this is our second video here on the Bible/Chat YouTube channel, and we thought we'd call it 3-Minute Theology, but it turns out that's already taken, and so we're doing Bible/Chat, which is what we're doing because we're chatting about the Bible. So, Jason, last time we talked about the image of God. Man is created in the image of God. He's marred in that image. Then he still retains a portion of that, and then will be restored to that in heaven through Christ. Those who are believers. Mm-hmm. So I want to talk a little bit about that whole issue of being marred, being tainted.
Yeah.
What is the marring of the image of God in us?
Well, ultimately, the marring of the image of God in us is that we are obviously no longer innocent, that we're born in sin. As David says, like, my mother conceived me in iniquity. You know, you're not a sinner because you did something bad and then you became a sinner.
Right.
The point is that you're born in sin.
Yeah. Psalm 51:4. In sin did my mother conceive me. Yeah. Okay. That's good.
Absolutely.
Okay. So then, all of us are born sinners?
Right.
Where did that sin come from originally?
So, a couple points to that, right? Originally, of course, with the fall of man in Genesis 3, Eve taking the fruit, and really even before that, right, as her thoughts and desires were going away from God in unbelief, not believing that he knew what was best and he had their best interest in heart out of love and goodness for them. She was already in verse 6 turning away from God in her heart, but really the focus there on the action itself, right? Once that happened, not that the heart's desires and motives and all that is not sinful, but once that bite took place of the forbidden fruit, then like everything changed cosmically, right? Inside of us, inside of them as the first parents. And then Adam took it right after. And then all the way down the line, down to us and down to everybody who has ever been and will ever be born. Our nature is completely tainted by sin through and through.
So that nature change is the tainting that we're talking about there. Okay, that makes sense. And then that is passed through progeny to every
biologically
person.
Really. Absolutely. From one generation to the next. And that's why immediately after you see they died, and they died, and they died, right? Yeah.
Okay, so that principle, that sin brings death.
Yes.
Then each of us is born with that same sin nature. We're born constrained under that marring, that tainting of sin.
Right, absolutely.
Okay, and then, so this is my question. Why, in a world that God says is made very good, why is there sin? Or why is there a tree of the knowledge of good and evil? And where did Satan even come from here? We have the serpent who shows up. We believe that's a literal thing.
Of course.
He speaks to Eve.
Absolutely.
He tempts her. Yeah. Where did the serpent come
from? So ultimately, serpent, tree of the knowledge of good and evil, sin, all of that is under the umbrella of God's sovereign ordination over his sovereign rule and control.
Okay.
Without him being the author or direct, immediate cause of sin, he is absolutely powerful and sovereign, knows the end from the beginning, existed from all eternity past, has absolute power over every single thing. And so he is in charge, control, rule, superintendence over all of that. I know we want to use he permitted that, allowed that. If you want to use that, that's fine. But he's absolutely in charge and in control over sin and over the devil himself, who Satan was an angel, as we know, so who fell because of pride.
Okay, so then we have Satan falling, God's superintending all of that. All that is under his absolute control.
Yeah.
Why? Why would he do that?
I know.
And that, I think, is going to be the next one they do, because this is supposed to be Bible chat, not Bible conversation.
Exactly.
So next time we'll talk about that.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Great. Thanks.